Today, 15th of May, is the European Literature Night, and we are celebrating the City of Words, Word of the Street. We have Duffy with us. Welcome, and thank you very much for reading the sung words of José Ovejero.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a privilege.
Duffy is a very well-known radio presenter. You have been on the radio for so many years. But you went to Trinity and you studied social worker. Mm-hmm. How did you end up being a radio presenter?
Well, by accident, a tragic accident, some people say. I was working in the probation service as a social worker with prisoners for about 5 years, and I just saw an advert in RT as a radio producer, and I just wanted to change, and I was young enough to change. And I remember when I went for the interview, I said to them, "You will employ many different people. The difference that I can offer is my background, social work, the things I've been doing." And the national broadcaster said, okay. They took 20 people and I was one of them.
So you never regret of the change of your career?
No, not yet.
Not yet. I think that you have been presenting Lifeline since 1999. Mm-hmm. It was already an established show, and when you took it, it has been a success since then. How have the topics changed since you started in 1999?
Well, you see, the program originally started as a women's program, a specific program that was called Women Today, and then that changed slowly into Lifeline with the same presenter, and then it turned into a phone show, a phone-in program. I suppose the main issue in the last, there was a period during the Celtic Tiger where one of the big issues with people, these pyramid schemes and holiday homes and scams and scandals, and then when the economic collapse came, it was people losing their jobs and their families and people leaving the country. So it's reflected the changes in Irish society, and it's big because in Ireland we love talking. We do like talking, and we like sharing. People telling their experiences, and then other people relating the same thing happened to me and I got through it or whatever, and people helping each other. That's been a feature of the program.
You were in Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah.
And did you find something interesting about your life that you didn't know, or your family?
Yeah, I did actually. Who do you think you are? My grandmother was born in India, which I'd known, but I went to see. Sometimes we didn't believe her when she told us. She was born in India.
You thought it was a story?
Yeah, I thought it was a story, and she told us her brother had died in India, her younger brother, from a snake bite. And we didn't believe that either. But we went out and we found where she was born, found the church, found where she lived, found the baptismal cert, found the death cert of her brother. He did die. Couldn't find his grave. We know the graveyard, but it's an unmarked grave. And then what we also discovered was connections to the First World War. We found for the first time, I was the first member of my family to go to a grave in France of Christopher Carroll, who would have been my grandmother's brother. And he was killed in April 1916 on the Somme, and nobody knew or had ever found out where he was buried. So for the first time in that program, I was able to go out, find his grave, locate it, mark it, and tell other people as well in the family where he's buried.
You have mentioned now 1916, and you are involved in a project researching about the 40 young children that they died in 1916. How did you get involved in that project? And,
again, totally accidental. I was asked by a children's charity to paint an Easter egg, big Easter egg, and I was trying to think of what to paint on the Easter egg. And then in Ireland, we associate Easter with the Easter Rising, 1916, and the charity was a children's charity. So I just said, how many children were killed, if any, in 1916? And I asked historians, and nobody knew. Nobody knew. Was it 1? Was it none? Was it 10, 20? And I then started researching it, and I found one reference to 20 children, which was astonishing. Nobody ever knew. Then I went through and got names, birth certs, death certs, went up to grade. It's an ongoing project. I have 40 names of children 16 and under that were killed all around this part of Dublin between the two canals in that week of 1916. I have about 23 families from those children, but there's about 17, 18 families that I've apart from a death cert to say they died of gunshot wounds or explosions. I've no information on the children, so it's an ongoing project just to try and remember and reclaim their lives.
History has been important for you then. What do you think is the most, the main role of history in our lives?
Learning. I think, one, we're social beings. It is the difference between us and other species. We are interested in our lives. We can reflect, we can look back, we can compare and contrast. Like, one thing I'm finding out through looking at these children from 1916 is the conditions they lived in around this part of the city, in the numbers that were in relatively small houses, the employment, the poverty. So it's a glimpse of it. We're very much a part of what's around us. We're a part of our families, we're a part of our environment, and that's what makes us different, and we're curious about what happened before, and hopefully we will learn from that rather than just study it.
So good luck with your research. Now we are going to talk about Spain. What do you like most about Spain?
Because it's there.
It's there.
It's there, yeah.
But I know you go often to Spain.
Yeah, I was in Madrid a few weeks ago. I love the atmosphere. I love the good weather. I love the art. I love the colour. I love the vibrancy of it. Very welcoming. I had a very, very welcoming country, especially to Irish people for some reason. And we have very strong connections with Spain. Spain's such an incredible, rich tapestry of history and culture and art and poetry and writing. So it's a fascinating country as far as I'm concerned. Fascinating.
Are you learning Spanish by any chance?
No. I can hardly speak English.
No, this is not true. Today you are going to read the text of José Ovejero, and the novel tells the story of a middle-class family which have a comfortable life. They pass in a settled and nice routine where nothing ever happens. Or does it? Well, we are not going to tell what is going to happen or not, but it sounds interesting. Do you think sometimes we have the feeling that in our lives nothing happens, but everything happens at the same time?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the great things about novels and art. It does help us reflect on our lives. It can give us glimpses into the heads of other people, into the minds of other people. And the novel is wonderful at that in terms of telling a story. And like one of the main characters in the novel, we actually go with him, and he's deciding to pretend that he's I won't give it away, but he pretends that he's disappeared, and we're thinking with him. And that's the great beauty of a novel, that you can actually enter into that secret garden that is the mind.
So, Duffy, thank you very much for reading the text of José Ovejero, a fragment, and we are going to be delighted or listening to your words spreading on the air.
Okay, thank you very much, Carmen. Thank you.